And we're back on the Mana Symbol channel. Going to play a little bit of Archon Creativity. This is actually almost the exact deck list that I took to a Team Trios tournament this weekend. I went 5-0-2 in my seat, so I did not drop a single match, did not drop a lot of games. Had a great time with my wonderful team. Team Trios Magic is basically the best way that I've ever gotten to play Magic. So love doing that. Shout out to my good friend Brian, who's always been my teammate and is a rock. So things I like about this version, it's lighter on Teferi Time Raveler because this card is not the best in the metagame right now. We've got the full 3 bolts, full 3 spell pierce with the 4 leyline bindings and fire ice. Nothing like expressive iteration, and I like 2 persists. I don't like playing the card Transmogrify if I can possibly help it. Persist, really powerful in a lot of matchups where your opponent's ready with solitudes and things like that for your tokens, or they're ready to, bolt your tokens or whatever it is, and then all of a sudden you use either Fable of the Mirror Breaker or Prismari Command to dump an Archon into the graveyard and reanimate it that way. We've got an Iona, Shield of Emeria in the sideboard. That's great for the Solitude matchups, and Sundering Titan is great for a lot of the 4 or 5 color nonsense matchups. And then we've got some Nature's Claims of Bosejudes, deals with Blood Moon or Hammer decks. One copy of Terra Sunder. I'm not entirely convinced about this specific card. I wasn't playing it over the weekend. I was just playing another copy of Boseju, so that's definitely an option. We got 2 Leyline of the Void. Again, kind of loose as Graveyard Hate. Feels a little weird for me, but I didn't hate it. Running into hard graveyard decks has not been happening so much. Although in my last league, I think I've run into Dredge twice in the last 2 days. So Dredge is definitely an uptick online. Hey, Shauna. I have had, for those who are interested sometimes in Magic, luck and skill and all those things, I think in my last 5 leagues I haven't done better than 2-3, and I think I had 3 1-4s. So it's been a tough couple of days, but you have to be able to rebound through that. You got to have other stuff in your life going well, and I'm happy to say that I can bounce through some downturns in luck and still feel like I'm the same value as a player. Someone brought up the Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack the other day, so we're listening to as many of those as this YouTube playlist has right now. On Tuesday, I built Goblins on Moto and lost 6 matches in a row. Like, not close. Yeah, sometimes you are playing like a new archetype or like a new formatted list, and you're just like, what? Like, is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with the list? Is there something that's it's always interesting to play through those. So sleep is the key. Apparently Goblin's still top tier, just got to be in the headspace. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of decks like that where you really have to have the right approach. My last league with Creativity, I went 2-3, and it was just, I ran into one mirror match. I ran into one blue-white player who knew how to use Hallowed Moonlight very well to position themselves to crush me. And there's one other game that I ended up losing. Don't remember which one. I definitely beat the Dredge player because they got unlucky in 2 games. The post-board games, I had Leyline of the Void on turn 1, and they just lost to it. All right, so we're going to ship this first one. I do like that this deck is on the full 4 Dwarven Mine. I was playing Ting Fang Wan's version that was playing less copies, and I just, that feels a little sketchy to me. I think I'd rather have Fable than Teferi most of the time, although it may be possible that I need to have Persist to try to keep up. So we go like this. I think Persist is better in more matchups than Teferi is right now. Of course, we'll see if that pans out, but oh, great. Mull to 5, opponent's got the turn 1 Ragavan. Well. So if I fetch anything, I think we just play this Triome on 1. Although, having the option to Spell Pierce, the only way to have the option to Spell Pierce is shock the Steam Fence. I only have the one Steam Fence, this untapped blue source in this deck. I think the potential of turn 2 Blood Moon means I shock in the Steam Vents and pass. Assuming the opponent's on Murktide. And then a scam opponent had Plague Engineer. You know, when Ledger Shredder. When Goblins is popular, I guess people are going to play against it. They're going to build against it. My opponent has their Ledger Shredder. This Spell Pierce is going to lose efficacy very quickly. Hey, a Carrion Lich. They know I have Stomping Ground. I think we might be dead this game. Just a loose guess here, but this is not looking good. Persist is definitely the card I would rather have here than Teferi. But this is not looking great. I needed that Archon. I really did. One plays Iteration. Damn. Yeah, I guess I should have Spell Pierced that to get them to blow their treasures on the Spell Pierce. I was hoping they were going to play another spell afterwards to trigger their Ledger Shredder, which obviously didn't pan out. Okay. There's no question in their mind what I'm playing. I think the only thing I can do here is fetch a mountain, play a Fable. Are we going to catch you playing any creativity on stream? Maybe. I don't know about that one. It's a good deck. It's more popular than its own good. Grabbed a Spell Pierce. That's good. I didn't need that. Not hipster enough anymore. Exactly. Oh, if only I had any faith in this. So I'm staying with my family in the city, Titan O'Clock, for a sideways reason. Like, it just happened to sync up that I was gonna be in Toronto anyway to help take care of my other grandmother, who's going to be anyway. So I'm gonna be in the city already. So for me, it's gonna be like a 45-minute to 60-minute subway trip. Come on. Oh, they're gonna pay for it. Sorry, I thought they were playing Counterspell. Wait. It's fine. I'm at 1. Still alive. Still alive. Just need to top deck a... Need to top deck a Dwarven Mine. I'll be fine. Nope. Alright. So on the draw, mull to 5 against Murktide. Probably not going to happen there. Grab the Veils. Nature's Claim and Flusterstorm are both interesting cards in this matchup. Because they don't counter a lot of the stuff you want to counter. But Veil's also kind of tricky too. Don't think it's a all 3 Veil kind of matchup. Yeah, the Jund creativity list with the Bitter Reunion. I think that's the name of the card. So the way I'm deciding to sideboard here is not particularly respectful of Blood Moon. Oh yeah, you can link it. Yeah, it is a spirit monger in the art, and it specifically calls it out in the flavor text. Although I will say this is like the new depiction of spirit monger. Hashtag not my spirit monger. Maybe we can side out a binding here, because it's like they're mostly on small creatures. We're keeping the fire ice, we're keeping the bolts. You miss Spirit Monger? Maybe it's playable in pre-modern, cough cough. I assume that's the only format where it would be close to playable. Pernicious Deed, now that's a Magic the Gathering card. Mulligan. Alright. Wow! Not How do I feel about Legacy? I like Legacy. I think Legacy needs the fetch lands to be reprinted. Not the fetch lands, the dual lands to be reprinted. And then it could be a quote-unquote real format. I think I have to bottom this creativity. Just assume we're going to draw into whatever we need. Yeah, Legacy needs the dual lands to be reprinted. And then it could be a real format. Or people need to more ubiquitously pick up the attitude of running proxy tournaments. The place close to me, that is local to me, is running 15 proxy events. So that's the kind of thing that I'm interested in actually trying. So usually here what I do is play Ren and 6 and pick up a land. And then you get a guaranteed 2-for-1 kind of. Feeling really on the back foot here. And if they just attack me and Blood Moon, then I ping the ping the monkey and play a Fable. Maybe that's good enough. Probably not, but that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, that deck is very interesting, Titan. It's definitely like one Archon is usually not that big of a play, but if you can give it haste. Our local legacy community is rather large and adamant on no proxies. Well, if it's large, it can afford it, right? But I think most places, they're like, once they realize there's only like 4 players, they're like, you know, if we allow people to play with proxies, we could have like 16, 20 players. Like, there are people who are willing to play who can't afford to. And a lot of people who own modern decks, it's like 15 to 20 proxies. that would bridge them into a playable legacy deck. So seems hard to play in-person Magic without talking to an individual. I've seen multiple people pull it off, Dave. I'm not saying it's a good choice. I'm just saying I've seen people do it. There's actually some of the grinders in my area are very good at barely talking to their opponents. So going to be firing this Ragavan in combat. Yeah. That's definitely one of the more complex gestures. What's up, Mr. Sari? I mean, I do that in a city a lot of the time, Rancid Mind, but that's because like you don't want to talk to random. What in the hell? Toulouse Clever Conductor. 3/1. Enters the battlefield connives. Whenever you discard one or more cards, exile them from your graveyard. When this dies, put the cards exiled with it into its... wow. Okay. Well, I'm just going to snap off this Veil of Summer to draw a card. I can't imagine this card is worth playing against creativity. But whatever, I guess. I don't get this at all. It's a 3-mana 4/2. They don't... I guess it combos with Ledger Shredder? They discarded a... what? Uh-huh. Okay, whatever. You do you, opponent. I'm gonna just be over here. Kind of combos with itself. I mean, once? Hey, Mord. My horrible luck streak has continued with 2 mulls to 5 against Murktide. In both games, they had turn 1 Ragavan. In both games, I didn't have a Lightning Bolt. And they're playing Toulouse, which is just remarkable. All right, so I'll discard Archon and Mountain here. It's probably looks crazy to discard the Mountain, but I kind of need... okay, there we go. So let's go black and 1. Get back my Archon. And then they're going to discard a card and they'll get it back later. Pog. Look at this. They're going to sack it and draw 2 cards. Oh, they did sack it and draw 2 cards. About to lose another 5 out of creativity. Sorry about that, Mord. Ooh. Everyone out here is playing to win, and I've got my own style. Yeah, I respect that, Dave. I really do. Some people are out here playing to win. You're just playing to play. So their hand now has a Murktide and a counterspell that we know about. And they're going to express themselves. They're looking for Unholy Heat. And they also need a land. Because if they just find the heat, I just persist again. I love to play against people that play to lose. At least it means they can't Orvar. What about what just happened says that they can't Orvar? I'm confused. It's okay, Mort. As I was describing, my record in the last 5 leagues is like 3 1-4s and 2 2-3s. So, and I've been switching around on decks. Oh, Stream Decker is not dead. It's just not in the chat because it loves to leave. It is now in the chat. Okay. They found a Blood Moon, but then they put it in exile. Opponent, that doesn't help you. I guess they choose the replacement effect? Yes. Well, hold on. Card. Orvar. The all form. When a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard this card, create a token. No, so discarding into exile it's not like dies, where dies isn't the same as so dies means is put into the graveyard from the battlefield. Discard means moves from your hand towards the graveyard, but it doesn't actually have to arrive in the graveyard. That's not a requirement. I know that's very weird and niche, but this is Magic and that's how it works. So also we killed them. So if there's a ley line or whatever in play, it doesn't stop Orvar from triggering. So we won game 2 in yes, Madness does not actually go to the graveyard. Madness goes into exile. Madness is really weird now. Before, Madness used to just kind of like... It felt like they just kind of waved their hands on how Madness worked, because it was like, as you discard it, you can like put it onto the stack. But now... What matchups do you bring in Iona? Solitude. Solitude matchups. Sundering Titan also comes in those. It does now, Shauna. It didn't used to. That has not always been the case. Originally, Madness was very like hand wavy. So I want my bolts on the draw. Let's grab like one Terra Sunder. Are creativity people bringing a second threat versus Brainstone decks? Stone Brain decks, yes. If you're smart and you already had one in your sideboard, which you probably did. Opponent, are they finally on a mulligan? They're not. They keep their 7. There will be a turn 1 Ragavan. Just letting you all know. They're going to have turn 1 Ragavan on their 7. See? Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Shauna. It feels like there should have been, because like Odyssey block was when Madness was printed. So the way I sequenced my lands here means that I can't turn to a Leyline Binding, assuming I draw one. However, we can fight a turn 2 Blood Moon. And that is kind of the most important thing. Looks like they might be light on lands. They're not, or they just drew that. Do I want to fetch? No, because I want the ability to... Honestly, I just want the highest likelihood of drawing lands. Oh, no. On this turn, if they play any blue spell, I'm likely to cycle this Veil of Summer, which sucks, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. The Stamping Ground. Cycle Veil. Okay, opponent is not interested in interacting with that. Do you do donut decks? If so, how much? I used to do them for 10 Titan O'Clock. I'm pretty sure I should up that price. It would feel irresponsible at this point not to. I don't have a great answer for you other than maybe I should look at it first. Okay, opponent's going to combat. If I try to fight them here, Spell Pierce just makes them spend their treasures because they'll have like Counter Spell or Spell Pierce plus that. Question is, what can I do with a window next turn? Not much. Whereas trying to resolve... things are getting worse before they're getting better here. Okay. EE on 0? That's not an issue, opponent. Don't worry. You have a price and feet picks. I can't really send money your way short of smuggling cash over the border. So my policy on that is I'm not a big foot fan in general. I wear socks all the time. So the best I can offer you is a sock pick. It's not... So my policy is no. But again, I'm like 100% sure that like if you quoted me a high enough price, I would send you pictures. I don't feel uncomfortable about that at all. I'm just saying that I don't have a price in mind, so you're gonna have to get me to the point where I say that's worth me doing it. So do I Spell Pierce? There's Spell Pierce. I think I do. Just to get up on tempo here. Just Twitch, Oatmeal Appreciator. Just Twitch. This is just Twitch doing Twitch things. Thanks for the follow there, Ill Sender and Oatmeal Appreciator. Oh, and Psychedelic, I missed. Yeah. Counterspell instead of paying the 2. Listen, I don't understand Murktide players. I don't try to. All right. So Prismari Command, loot plus treasure. Yeah, and then we could draw land and yeah, the problem with that is more that like if I go end step, there's a chance that they like play something and then we go shock, make a treasure, or I guess shock rummage. I feel like that might have a higher possibility of success. I mean, that's basically me, Mord. I mean, I don't want to run on grass with socks on. That's awful. That's a shoe situation. All right. No, not that one, Mord. I like the use of aerobic there. So I guess I should have gone upkeep here. on the Prismari command. Anaerobic. Let's go shock rummage. Yeah. This has been a pretty no contest kind of game. That's possible we're alive here. Flusterstorm. Okay. It is and it isn't Titan O'Clock, because on one side it's way better. On the other side, when your spell is on the stack, it just has all of its modes listed out. The previous version would list the modes that you chose, which is reflective of how Magic is actually working at that moment. That's unfortunate. It's okay, because they're going to have the second counter here anyway. But so we need to draw exactly a Dwarven Mine or the Mountain. We didn't. Yeah, we're dead. Okay. Lost to Murktide. It happens. We mulled to 5 in the first 2 games. We actually won game 2. And we never had a Lightning Bolt for their turn 1 Ragavan, so not going to feel annoyed about that one. Hugo Freitas. So frequently a Storm player of old. Can't remember what they play nowadays. Most recently seen on, I assume that's Merfolk. This hand is fine against Merfolk. And we can do the standard optimal fetch setup here, which is Ralgren Triome into Zeotora's Proving Ground. That gives you access to turn 2 Leyline Binding. We're going to go ahead and get rid of their Aether Vial for the tempo gain. Got to get them gains, yo. We're going to do it. We're here and we have to do it, and we're going to do it. Agreed, Shauna. Agreed. Well, don't be so hasty, Titan O'Clock. I've lost many matches to Merfolk. Many, many matches. Yeah, we're on to THPS2. I think we play Fire here because it's less mana efficient. We want to save the Bolt for when we get crunched a little bit by them deploying multiple threats. Yeah, the Daedric, the number 1 song that I remember from Tony Hawk 1 was Superman by Goldfinger. And I'm glad it was on the... I'm glad it was on the mix here. Bring the Noise is the song that I just know. All right, so one assumes that if I cast Creativity here, it just depends on if they're on main deck Dismembers or not. Since I'm not forced to take action here, let's just go Shock, make a treasure. And I'll leave the second dock hand in play just for now. I don't need to deal with the second dock hand. Yeah, or force tough. But I mean, there's nothing I can do to play around for. I guess if they play out too many of the cards in their hand, that's how you play around force. Is that like... so if I kill the dock hand now, it doesn't have ward. Basically, they're telling me that they have to have Force Blue card in hand for them to have a chance in this game. So might as well go Shock, Creativity X2. And either they have the Force or they don't. Got them. Okay, game 2. So get these Spell Pierces out of here, most likely. Terra Sunder's not too bad. Maybe some Veil of Summers. So Iona, I think Iona is the wrong way to think about the usage for that card. Yes, Iona would lock them out of the game, but you're putting in 1, and if they have an established board presence and you have to Creativity X1 and you flip into an Iona and then they go, I'm going to turn my guys sideways and kill you, you're like, ah, yes, right. I have failed to grasp the actual game we were playing here. So I'm pretty sure this is the sideboarding that I want. Definitely don't want the Spell Pierces. And then I was wondering, why are people sideboarding Haywire Might? What is it good against? I think you'd have to tell me which decks you're particularly talking about, Ride or Die, but it's great against a lot of things. You like Third Veil over Second Persist? I think I like it better than one of the Teferis. A lot of Saga decks? Well, okay, so Haywire Might is good in any Saga mirror. It's good against Hammer Time. It's good against... I'd have to do more thinking, but I mean, that's more than enough for me to put it in as a one-of, and it can exile Saga. Saga is a non-creature enchantment. Yeah, Blood Moon, Fable, Hammer we already covered, Kaldra, yeah. Yeah, of course. Well, that's why you ask questions, Ride or Die. And one of the things is, like, I hadn't actually thought through all of that. So I'm glad you did, because now I get to go. Now I have more of a well-developed answer when someone else asks about Might. Okay, this means they have Merfolk Trickster. We haven't hit a Rob Zombie song yet, have we? No. This is Power Man 5000, if you're mistaking it for Rob Zombie. Which is not surprising. Because it does sound like a Rob Zombie song. I remember looking up the music video for this at some point recently and being like, this isn't Rob Zombie? It also kind of sounds like Marilyn Manson to me. I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn here. We're going to use Fire to kill any creature they play that I can. And then I was going to go Wrenn and 6 into Lightning Bolt next turn. But they're being stubborn. I would call them obstinate, like a Baloth. I mean, it's not about remembering band names. It's about, like, this song sounds like it's a Rob Zombie song. Like, that's not... All right. Nothing but triomes, nerd. Turn 4 format. So let's go ahead and go... Oh, they have Voldelian Hex Catcher here. So if I play Prismari Command, I get Force Spiked. So I guess that I pass the turn to just port them. Yeah, I loaded it up ride or die. So people previously were asking about like off beat, like off meta decks that you could play that were I forget exactly what the context was. So I can go fire here. They play the Hex Catcher. We bolt it. They can then sack the master to counter the bolt. So I don't want to do that. I think you just go bolt here, and then when I untap, I kill this master. Yes, yeah, exactly. Ride or die. Yeah, that's So the other day we were talking about how you could, if you want to in modern, you can pick basically any deck and decide to be a format specialist with it, and you can 5-0. And one of those decks that I brought up was Grixis Control. If you want to play Grixis Control, there's a player named God's Shadow, who is exactly that person who's 5-0'd twice in a row now. And he plays 4 Cryptic commands, 3 Kolaghan's commands, and basically is not playing by the same rules that anyone else in Modern is. Because he's decided to be a deck expert, and that's what you get. Boop. Got him. All right. Oh, no! Oh, I forgot that that's a thing they can do. Sad. All right. Well, we can survive this. I guess that's why they were so chill there. I thought their last 2 cards would be force blue card, but they were not. This is why I don't play this deck. So this is why I haven't played this deck recently. Is that I knew this technology was part of the metagame, but I also knew that I'm not a person who's been a consistent creativity pilot, and therefore I was going to get trashed by people who have the tech. Yeah, I ran into Blue-White Control playing Hallowed Moonlight. That was brutal. So yeah, it's definitely not the same meta as I used to play this deck in. And unfortunately, they have mana to animate their Mutavaults or whatever. We're dead here. Let's go game 3. We do have Veil of Summer. So Veil of Summer blocks their Archon trigger at least once. On the play, I can grab the other Teferi. Yeah, Wafo's even main decking a Moonlight. I mean, Moonlight you can use against a lot of different cards. Veil also blocks the Orvar. Oh, right, because it has to target your permanent. Yeah, that's good to know. Moonlight can also get the scam decks. Yep, yep. Yeah, Moonlight actually affects a shockingly large number of things in the metagame. Yeah, it blanks both Living End and Rhinos. Oh, and Glimpse. Really, Mord? Oh, that's tough, buddy. But at least you got a 4-1, right? I think I'll play a tap land here, just pass. Um, Playing Fable here into their Hex Catcher is not my favorite idea. Yeah, that thing right there. I think I'll just get this dead now. Ice their upkeep. I think killing the Hex Catcher is better. They just forced me? Holy shit. Okay. Okay. Wild. Absolutely crazy. Let's draw a bolt. Or a land, honestly. Land is good. Catcher is good in this match. Well, yeah, I didn't think it was that good. There's no way their last card isn't Orvar. That's fine. We're just gonna wait and like if I draw a creativity, hopefully we're gonna wait and creativity for like 3. And creativity for 3 is resilient against an Orvar. 2 is not. You need to go bigger than that. Assuming that they have a force here, I'm just going to pass and Prismari Command on their end step. We'll discard this Archon most likely. Oh, Hex Catcher. Okay. Let's go Shock, make a treasure. Spreading Seas? Sure. I got time. This is not a game where Spreading Seas is going to make me afraid. I already had an island in play, so. I think I'll hold the mountain to discard to Fable next turn. Because I don't think I'm trying to hard cast Archon in this game. As long as we can, my plan here is to assume that there's an Orvar in their hand. Although, so I can go persist into creativity right now, but I can't if I play this land because their Archon would make me discard the creativity. I need one more. Oh, I've got the. I didn't need to play this, and I could have used the treasure token to get there this turn. That said, let's go ahead and wait a turn. Trickster. Okay. They have one card in hand. I can creativity for 2 right now. Which, because I got the treasure and the goblin, that beats Orvar. No, it doesn't, because they have the Mutavault. No, wait, hold on. So if I persist, I get an Archon. They discard. I draw. Because I draw, I'm okay, right? We can do we can do it for 3 with mine. Oh, I see. Yeah. And 3 is good enough, right? So they get an Archon to the first. Yeah, and then so I get 3 Archons. They discard Orvar on the first one. Then it comes. Then they get their token, and then the second and the third one, like they have to sacrifice Trickster and or Mutavault, and then yeah, okay, we're good. We're good. Brat. Woohoo! Let's go home, kid. Orvar's a house. Yeah, but it's beatable. Orvar is only really good if you're able to put on enough pressure that like card you're leaving floating in your hand is enough to beat like an Archon on one, as it was in the previous game. Like game two was the perfect example of the Orvar games where Orvar wins. But if your opponent is aware, all right, if they're on Prison Tron, this should be mostly easy. Um, Game one, I have to be cognizant of the fact that they're going to want to Stonebrain my Archons, but as long as I'm aware of that, it's not horribly difficult to beat Prison Tron. You lost that 5-0 from upping a vial to 2 from 1 on turn 7. Yeah, that's tough, buddy. Oh, oh, oh! They're powdering. Opponents having a white Christmas over there. Chalice? Oh, for sure. So let's get Ketria Triome. Main deck Brain? Yeah, they'll have main deck Stone Brains. Most likely. But they had one. But next turn, we can shatter it before they can activate. We can Leyline Binding it before they can activate. And they might save it for when they have 4 mana in play. I'm not really worried about that. Its creativity is a terrible matchup for these Prison Tron decks. I know because I played from both sides a lot. A lot, a lot. So, Sacred Foundry. Go shatter. Make a treasure. Okay. Jar. And they pass. Okay. Need another blue because I need blue here plus the white, blue, red. No, I didn't need it, but that's fine. Could have gotten a dwarf token. Mostly not relevant. Huh. Constructs, huh? Okay. Relic. All right. Booking Ballista. All right. So I think in combat we go Shock Rummage. Not Shock. Shatter Rummage. Obviously not Shock. I should have left out my white. That's what I meant to do. Probably don't need to play the Leyline Binding on this turn, but I should have had it as a possibility. I'll dump one of these Archons. Any takes on how to build Shape Anew? My number one take on how to build Shape Anew is don't. Oops. Yeah, my number one build on take on how to build Shape Anew is don't. I haven't seen a single build of it that looked in any way like it was worth doing. So if I'm going to... Man, I wish I hadn't burned that bolt. So I want to get rid of this Ballista before I play token chumpy guys. So let's do that. They're going upstairs? Wild. You miss Crabley? Yeah, Crabley was great. I too miss Crabley from time to time. All right, we'll pass the turn here. Opponent upkeep exiles from my graveyard. Strong play. Ballista for 2. Chalice on 2. Seems legit. They're just going face? Face is the place? Okay. So with the shaman attack and all the treasures I have, I can cast the Archon next turn. So I'm gonna block like this. They don't have enough mana to kill me with a Ballista. That's fine. Okay. Yes, discard these two. Pick that up. Oh. Two Archons in my deck. I guess I want a double Archon now, huh? So let's go Bloodstained Mire. Make a mine. And I have multiple ways to remove their bridge next turn. I should have left up white again. I'm being really sloppy with my tapping here, but this game looks good, so I think probably going to be able to afford it. Yeah. Could just Tareg? I could Tareg. I'm not super interested in Tareg in that situation. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Yeah, you could target the bridge. It could flip into another bridge. Like, if you have the out, like, I guess it's theoretically worth doing. I don't know if it actually is math-wise. Be right back. Um, Fable's a little slow, but I need it if my Archons get hit. Board out an Archon, a Persist. Maybe the last bolt. Yeah. How's it going, Boosh? And thank you for the follow, the Bling Blow, and 10 Arms MTG, and Lundaron. Wow, bunch of ones that I missed. All right. Put them all to 6. Then they powder. Then they keep. All right. So should see a turn 3 Tron here. We can fetch Steam Vents if we need to Spell Pierce a Stone Brain here. Spell Skite. Can't do anything about that one. That's okay. Looks like they're going for Construct aggro. So, for mana efficiency's sake, let's go Fetch Shock, Steam Vents, and Binding here. Not Steam Vents, Stomping Ground. Yoink! And then if they end step make a construct, we go Shock Shatter. And we make them cry. It might even be right to make a treasure instead of the Shatter. But I feel like this is good. Listen, Vija, if you want to be a Prison Tron player, you got to be built to tough stuff, all right? You got to be built to some very tough stuff. So Torpor Orb. Okay. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Let me tell you a tall tale. Powder. Okay. Let's discard Archon and one of these Spell Pierces. Go green, red. Play Ran and Seeks. Pick up the land. Play Mire. Get in there. Go ahead and mix it up. And we're going to destroy the Torpor Orb when we Creativity here. I only have 2 Archons in the deck right now, so we're hoping not to draw one. I probably should have iced on upkeep here, but fortunately they didn't have the Tron, so we just get to wreck them with the Spell Pierce. Put in our token. Combat. So we go Dwarven Mine. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Creativity 1, 2, 3. Okay. Brap. That's not another Torpor Orb at all. That's no moon. It's a space station. Wait. What are we doing? All right, got him. Yeah, that's an unbelievably tough matchup for Prison Tron. Not easy at all. Just had a breach player 6 removals by turn 4. They don't. Do they even play 6? I thought they played 4 Unholy Heats and like 1 Galvanic Blast or Bolt. I finally got my Step Brothers War singles. What are you ordering, Step Bro? 2 pendings, 3 heat, 1, but they're playing prismatic, multiple prismatic endings. Wild. Ooh, M Hayashi. So he's been playing a lot of decks that don't have Blood Moon in the main deck recently, which makes me assume we're about to see main deck Blood Moons. Leads on Forgotten Cave. Always a good feeling. Might dash Ragavan on 2, so I'm going to play the Scalding Tarn. Hopefully I don't have to Spell Pierce so that I can get Stomping Ground here. Demolition Field. Oh boy. So we're against the version of his deck he plays that's on like 8 field effects or possibly more. So that's terrifying. I'm not going to Spell Pierce that. So 110% keeping my Mountain in my deck. Was there an Obosh revealed? No Obosh, so they'll be playing Cleansing Wildfire as well. I'm mostly certain of that. So next turn, depending on how things go, we'll be icing one of their lands on their upkeep. They have Bone Crusher Giant and Mountain. Probably going to put Mountain into exile here. Yeah, and he does. So we're going to get Demolition Fielded. Oh, we're not. Oh, thank goodness. Because if they started with that already, we would have been in trouble. Yeah, playing Cleansing Wildfire and Geomancer's Gambit. Complete madness over there. Complete madness. So this turn... Someone who knows how to party? Yeah. So let me tell you something. If you ain't here to party, you picked the wrong place. You picked the wrong Friday night. So let's go plus, and then go shock, make a treasure. I don't really think that my inclination here to keep as many lands as in play as possible is... It's probably a bit much. Mike. Ugh. Who got that on Wednesday? I swear to you, I will eventually design that playmat / t-shirt. Bolt? That's legit. Relic. Okay. M. Hayashi 4-0 staple. Relic of Progenitus. Excellent draw. Provides me with more treasures. I think the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is legit one of the drunkest days of the year. Okay. That's a take. The Rhino's Flowchart playmat. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. A lot of travel. They've got a relic, but I can binding the relic, but I can't discard the Archon during the next turn. I've already played 2 Prismari commands. There's only one more in the deck, and there's 4 Fables. I think I have to ditch the Persist and just pray that I get one more land drop. Should be okay. Okay, another Fire Ice is nice. Thanksgiving Eve is the busiest day of the year for bars. That is a wild fact. All right, we'll let him take the turn here. Let's go fire. Fluff you, lol. Thank you for the follow. Bolt the Spyro. Do I think I'm going to have to play Spell Pierce this turn or Leyline Binding? I'm hoping it's Spell Pierce. Because I think what might happen is they might fire off Demolition Field, and then they try to Cleansing Wildfire afterwards. Or Field of Ruin. Okay, I think... I'm going to fetch Shock. It has to get a Black Source. And then we're going to Ice. Not one of these two. Perfect. Okay. We have resolved an Archon. What I resolve to do with it? Well, we'll see about that part. This is not the end of the game by any means, especially against M. Hayashi. One whole Archon, I know, right? Unearths the research desk. Okay, that's a really good sign. Fury goes into exile, so probably going to lose the Archon here to Fury plus Bolt. Or Flame Slash. Yeah, they're going to 0 cards in hand for this, so that's not the worst. I am going to have to draw into a creativity relatively soon. If I want to have any chance here. Yeah, it's not the best draw. Yeah, M. Hayashi standard Flame Slash. Okay, that's a good draw. It is a good draw. Catcher of Triumph's in the graveyard, but I still have a Raugrin and a Jund. It's not called Jund. It's Zeotoro's Proving Ground. Bolt. Is it going upstairs? Oh, it's going to the dwarf. Okay. So they're keeping me off of my... Jeez. 3rd Spyro in 23 cards. Woof. It's not what you want to see here. Oh, thanks, YYZ Kakit. Who are you, if you don't mind me asking? Were you my friendly photographer? Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know why I just had the feeling that you were. So, cycle Proving Ground. Like, if I play the Proving Ground, I'm hoping M is smart enough to shoot down one of my black sources, and then I end up stranded. So I think we just cycle this. So I'm just going to play Scalding Tarn here. We're just going to assume that if I try to resolve another Archon without assistance from treasures, that my opponent will be smart enough to stop me from doing that. So he was just there taking photos of the event, Vija, in the Toronto Magic community. And I happened to be playing and winning in said event. Stamp? Rude. If I spell Pierce, it means he can't play the Bone Crusher this turn, so why not? Also, if I cycle Proving Ground, I could hit another Spell Pierce that I wouldn't be able to cast. That's okay. Okay. You know how to play Magic and win? I do. Creativity off the top, please. One time for the one time. Dwarven Mine. Not the draw I was looking for. Proving Ground is in the graveyard, so I don't have any more fetchable black sources. Other good draws include Wrenn and 6. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Yeah, that's no good. This stream is not big enough for the paid actors meme yet. It's come up before. Cutting me off of blue? Sure. So in terms of lands, I have one Dwarven Mine. We'll fetch it now to increase the chances we draw creativity. Very short. Yeah, Mr. J. Giles, it was because I assumed my opponent would realize that I was basically stranded. This can get the Raugrun Triumph, and then that's the last fetchable in my deck. So it basically just wasn't worth doing anymore. Like, cycling it to try to find a creativity was a higher upside play. Cut me off of white. Not actually cutting me off of white, but it looks like they are. So we're going to fetch the Raugrun Triumph at the end of this turn. Oof, cut me off of green. So we're basically done here. I think I have one chance to top deck literally creativity. If they have a single burn spell. So time to draw Wrenn. Yeah, exactly. All right. So if they have two burn spells in hand, this might not be good enough. One. Two. Two. All right. Brutal. He was very, very lucky to hit all the Spyros he did in the order he did, but M. Hayashi, great player. So not And realistically, I have no ability to sideboard for this strategy. We just have to kind of play through. So chance he's on Blood Moon's post board. Teferi's not great. Never drawing a Fable was kind of rough. We could board out Leyline Binding. Is Iona actually better than Archon here? I think only if, because there's a chance he's playing Stonebrain out of the sideboard. Let's go down to Persist and let's keep the 4th Archon. Just because he's on like 4 relics. That's not the keep. This is really bad too. Okay, going to 5. All right. Cycle's Forgotten Cave, all right. Relic. Archon. Wow! Love the rough draws today, huh? Exiles his own graveyard. I assume he has literally no reason not to. Double field. Brutality. So the question is, do I try to make them have it now? Because after this turn, I'm just not in this game, essentially. I think we just make them have it now. If he's got the bolt or if he's got an out for Archon, then we're just gonna lose. Even if, yeah, there's just only one play here. Yeah. So maybe there wasn't. Maybe I could have waited one turn because this is when they start stripping me down. I don't know. I definitely would need to think this out a little bit more carefully. After losing game 1, though, I think I'm on a bit of a mental rough spot. Yeah, I still have another dwarf here, so I could have gone creativity for 2 this turn. Oh no, never mind. He's gonna have the cleansing wildfire. Nope. X spell. Okay, wildfire. Okay. That's a tough matchup. That's just a really insane setup against what our deck is doing, and don't feel bad about losing that one. Good hand in the dark. I don't know which tilt is more tilt, Badagaboosh. Opponent kept their 7. Scalding Tarn into nothing. So could be creativity, could be Murktide, could be Grinding Breach. So we're going to ice on their upkeep most likely. Yeah, could be Living In, could be Rhinos. Probably not Grinding Breach because they're all playing Gigantha now. Very unlikely to be Living End at this point with the double tap land play. Could be Rhinos. So we're going to definitely ice on upkeep here. Could be Creativity. Definitely going to ice on upkeep here. Or it could be any number of 4-color pile without without any of those specific elements. So I'm going to go ice here again. Yeah. They've got 2 green, so let's hit their white. All right, it is Creativity Mirror. Fable. So I Creativity X2 here. We'll see what they can fire back with. Oh! Pika, oh. Oh yeah, funnel cake fries are a thing. Okay, and if they single arc on me here, we just persist back and wreck them. So, should be game. Boosh is the fastest mod in the West. A place that has stuffed churros. What are they stuffed with? Chocolate? Red bean paste? Teferi. All right. Oh man, if they have Teferi and Persist here? Nope. Leyline Binding. Pretty good. Anyway, here's another Archon. Oops, overtapped. Don't know how I did that. Sorry. And luckily, I have too many cards in hand, so we go end step, discard this Archon. Which, as disastrous as it seems, bear with me, friends. It's going to end up being okay. So anyways, I started casting Archons. I've never watched a single episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If anyone cares, I assume they don't. Bear with me, friends. It's going to get worse. Okay, if they go Creativity X2 here, it looks really good for them. But then I bolt them in the face and kill them. Oh. What is this? Persist? All right. Bolcha. They have the Spell Pierce? They do not. Okay, so Veil, Terra Sunder, Boseiju, Flusterstorm. Bolts are not the best. I think Leyline Binding might be one of the worst cards in this matchup. Iona's not good, but Titan might be? Fable seems a little loose. Is this that I want to sideboard? I think it is. Yeah. So these games are mostly going to be about the first couple turns. So mulling to 5 is not an issue if you have like Spell Pierce, Ren, and 6. Why is Fable loose? It's just really slow. It's a 3-mana sorcery speed card that it like, what's the right way to say it? I feel like it just sets you up to lose a lot. This is the hand. That's the hand we want. All right, now let's just draw gas and we're good. We need more interaction than this faux show. Yikes. I'm gassy. Can I help? Are you gassy, Vija? Gassy? Is it gas? You're gassy, aren't you? Someone hold on. Oh, they're still stuck. This was taken at the event I was playing on the weekend, and the photographer labeled this as Magic the Gathering accidental renaissance. I wish you could see a little bit more of Trevor. This is a quality picture. Big fan of this. Huge biceps, Mr. Streamer. Yeah, look at my little belly going though. Got the little belly going, just a little bit. Just, it's not my best. It's not my best. Just a little belly. Thought you were the judge. Yeah, it's funny. It looks like I am, doesn't it? Yeah, I get it. I totally get why people would think. I think I actually look really good in profile here. I don't normally like what I look like, but I think my profile looks really good here. Something about it. It's just, yeah, it's like the best picture I've ever seen of me. I I usually really don't like pictures of me. Now you know why we all watch. This is the only reason. It's the pose and the stare. Yeah, yeah. And I think it's like I guess the side profile of my face is pretty good there. Oh, I think I have access to more photos. Oh yeah. See, like this does not look good at all. This is a terrible picture of me. Um, I think these are the only two. It looks fine, but doesn't look as good as the other one. I definitely look down a lot when I play. I don't tend to look at my opponent much at all. Um, what did I play? Creativity. Almost exactly this list. Is this the photo of the Magic the Gathering cruise? No, it's that was me playing team trios in paper. What's your legacy player play? I played blue white Narset Days Undoing. Can't believe you would betray your paper Prison Tron deck like that. Well, that was after the Saturday where I got rinsed in the challenge, in the showcase challenge, and I won for a league. So I had my reasons, Vija. I had my reasons. So the question is, do I spell pierce their Renin 6 or do I use this as an opening to resolve my own Renin 6? If they immediately creativity me, like I think I have to let this go. Does not feel good, but I'm pretty sure I have to let this go. Yeah. Fear of Veil. Well, exactly. It's like there's just I just yeah, it just doesn't feel like right on any axis. This is definitely a game that's very like play draw is a huge disparity here. Just that one extra mana open in the sequence is deal breaker. Yikes. All right, my Renin 6 resolving there is phenomenal for us. Because it means they don't have like spell pierce into creativity. Because if they did, there is no way you wouldn't take that play here. Pretty sure. I wonder if we want to run into the crazy creativity player who sideboards Orvar. Hmm. Okay. I have very little reason not to resolve Fable the Mirror Breaker here, or attempt to, so I'm going to do that. I guess the one reason would be like ice into creativity. I'm going to go ahead and not play scared of that because I can't really afford to. Yeah. Okay, we're getting creativity for 2 here. And then we can fire back with the creativity for 2. So we'll see how this ends up working out. The Zarkons appear to be in the wrong zone. I wouldn't say so. Crap! Double crap. Well played, opponent. I forgot about that part. Okay, so we're going to be firing back with a creativity for 1. That's not going to be good enough. All right, well played, opponent. Well played. I don't know what I can draw here that keeps me in this game. Top deck persist? I don't think that does it. Teferi into persist would do it. Yeah, that's not good enough. Nope. All right. Game 3. No, I mean, it's a mirror. It's basically 50%, right? Like, I'm not going to feel bad about losing a game like that. Like, it is what it is. Yikes. Are you any good at judge questions? Being a judge, I hope so. What's your question, one, Mr. Lee? Opponent also mulliganed to 7. Sorry, 6. Okay, hold on. Wondrous Crucible. If I mill 2 and hit a Planeswalker, why does it die when it comes in? At the beginning of your next end step, mill 2 cards. Then exile a non-land card at random from your graveyard. Copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. A copy of a permanent spell becomes a token. If I mill 2 and hit a Planeswalker, why does it die when it comes in? It shouldn't die when it comes in. There's nothing about this card that says to me that that would happen. That should not be happening. That is incorrect. Whatever part of whatever client is functioning in such a way that that happens, that should not be happening. So, yeah. I guess it's bugged. Some planeswalkers even make tokens of themselves. Yeah, exactly. Like Jace Cunning Castaway. So shocking in a second blue source here for no particular reason, I guess. Want to hear my bad judge call? Of course, Mike. Tell me all about it. Man, we are just not drawing it here. I too had a bad judge call in case you're interested. I mean, if we're just slandering the community, then, leave it. It's not really a... but if it's expressly for the purpose of hopefully creating a better community, you won't name names. Yeah, but there are people who'll know, and it's kind of... Does Slagstone Refinery work with Amulet of Vigor? Card. Slagstone Refinery. Whenever Slagstone Refinery or another non-token artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield or is put into exile from the battlefield, create a tapped Power Stone token. The tapped Power Stone token enters the battlefield and causes Amulet to trigger. Player minuses Teferi, passes the turn, player forgot to draw, catches in their opponent's draw step. Were they denied their card draw? That's like the only thing I could think of that would go like wrong there. Okay, Wrenn 6 goes to pick up their land. I'm gonna Prismari command here. They should get to draw the card. I need access to another. Yeah, okay. So they've plus the Wrenn 6 here. I can make the dwarf token without it dying the Wrenn 6. So we ditch Archon and the extra creativity. So here I can creativity X2 with Flusterstorm backup. Hope that's good enough. Stomping Ground in play means they can't Veil, so they need 2 blue 1-mana counters. If this is the Bolt, we let that go. Spell Pierce. Probably have a Fire. Well, Fire we blow out, no problem. Yeah, they need another 1-mana counter here. Otherwise, they're in a huge amount of trouble. I guess they could have a Dwarf token plus a Bolt. That would be pretty good. They get to keep their Wrenn 6 that way. Hey, Daniel from Brazil. Okay, so they need another. Okay, I can't beat that. Just can't beat that. We do get to hassle the Wrenn 6 a little bit here, but we might just be dead, and that's fine. Had to go for it there. My hand was not as strong as theirs on the Mulda 6. Opponent was on Helm combo. I was on Post. I accidentally Karn Lattice with him having a Karn in play 2. I said I would like to go to draw, please. Knowing I have Emrakul. Opponent convinced the judge to make me scoop. There, that's a really bad judge call, Mr. Lee. You cannot be forced to scoop. There's no that is not a thing. Okay, so opponent doesn't have a creativity. Or they're making a very strange play. Unfortunately, drawing nothing but lands. This is a large GP style event for Legacy. I mean, you just appeal there, and hopefully the head judge isn't as bad as what normally happens if both players have Karn and Lattice comes down. So you'll be asked to play out the game at a reasonable pace, in theory. And at some point, it will become clear that one player has an Eldrazi that shuffles in their deck, and the other person does not. And that will be the player who probably wins. So definitely fetching up my missing black mana at the end of this turn. Hey, Robert. How goes things? Not great. Looks like we're going to 2-3 this league. My previous league with creativity was also a 2-3. So creativity online not treating me the best. I was at least doing some learning in the previous league. In this one, it was like, I mean, it's fine, Roy. It's just, it's not disproportionately good in the metagame. It feels like it's fine. If there was a ley line in play, then yeah, that stops the Emrakul shuffle in. One assumes that there wasn't one because I was not informed that there was, because that obviously would. But like, a judge should never be saying like, you're wasting time and must concede this game. Like that isn't a thing. That is not anywhere in policy that is a thing that you should do. That, I don't think that's supported at any point in any way, and I've never heard a single judge express that. Because that requires a player to understand that they can't win the game, and that's not that's not a public piece of information. And it would be very strange for the judge to share that at the table. Like, that's not okay. Right. Strategic advice. You can give out policy advice. You could say, hey, it's really not a good idea for you to contradict a judge. And I don't think you should do that at any point during the tournament. There's a right way and there's a wrong way to address a situation where you think a judge is wrong. That's a piece of advice I'm allowed to give as a judge. Right, not the greatest move, Badagaboosh. Kiss him right on the mouth. So opponent has instant speed creativity. I had a quarrel with the judge and he hit me and we had a fight and the judge came and said I won the fight. All right, I'm off it. We don't need to play any more of this one. So 50% in the mirror there. It is what it is. Yeah, this setup is pretty good. It's a good good creativity list that I liked playing this weekend a lot. Did very well with it in paper. Obviously, this league is demonstrative of what playing creativity in the average league is like. You're going to run into some Blood Moon decks sometimes. We lost to Murktide in the beginning to some really bad hands. One of our mulls to 5 we actually did win. So that is the power of this deck. And then we lost to the Hayashi red deck and we lost in the mirror. So, tough league for the creativity deck. But if you wanted to see more of me playing that, that is what that looks like. This is the reason I don't play a lot of this deck, is I don't think it's actually that well set up in the metagame right now. Everybody's got a target on it. I played it in paper just because Prison Tron was treating me very poorly on that weekend, and I couldn't get the cards together to play Wafo Jeskai, which is probably what I'd be playing right now if I had the option. Not that I don't like creativity, I just think there's too many people teched out to beat the living daylights out of you. If you are in the future and you enjoyed watching this video on the YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, check out any of my other videos you're interested in, and I will see you there.